The lowest realm of samsara is not a place of eternal damnation, but a temporary yet unimaginably long consequence of severe negative karma, known as akusala. Naraka, the Buddhist hells, are categorized primarily into the 8 Hot Narakas, located deep beneath Jambudvipa. The deepest and most terrifying is Avici, the Hell of No Respite. This realm is reserved for the 5 heinous crimes, the anantarika karma: matricide, patricide, killing an arhat, shedding the blood of a Buddha, or causing schism in the Sangha. In Avici, the suffering is continuous, without even the space of a needlepoint for relief, hence its name. The beings here are constantly consumed by flames, only to be instantly regenerated by the karmic wind, ensuring the full duration of their sentence is served. Above Avici, the suffering begins in Sanjiva, the reviving hell, where beings are repeatedly killed and resurrected. Demons wielding iron clubs smash the inhabitants, who then revive instantly, driven by the karmic force of past violence. The suffering here lasts for 162 trillion years. Next is Kalasutra, the black thread hell. Here, the hell wardens use black threads to mark the bodies of the inhabitants, mapping out precisely where they will be sawed and chopped into pieces. This punishment corresponds to the karma of causing others to suffer through slander or deceit, literally being cut along the lines of their own negative actions. The duration of Kalasutra is 4 times that of Sanjiva. Sangata, the crushing hell, is characterized by massive iron mountains shaped like animal heads that repeatedly crush the inhabitants into a bloody pulp. This realm is the karmic result of hunting or causing great physical harm to many beings. The crushing is followed by immediate revival, only to be crushed again. Raurava, the screaming hell, is where beings are driven into iron houses that are then sealed shut and set ablaze. The intense heat and lack of escape cause continuous, agonizing screams, reflecting the karma of theft or causing others great distress and imprisonment in life. The duration of Raurava is 8 times that of Sanjiva.
Maharaurava, the great screaming hell, intensifies the suffering of Raurava. Here, beings are tormented by iron beasts that tear them apart before they are sealed in the burning iron houses. This hell is reserved for those who stole objects belonging to the Sangha or the community. Tapana, the scorching hell, involves being impaled on red-hot iron spikes and roasted over immense fires until the body is completely charred. This punishment is the consequence of setting fires or causing others to burn, often associated with malicious intent and destruction. The duration of Maharaurava is 16 times that of Sanjiva. Pratapana, the great scorching hell, is the second deepest hot hell. Here, beings are thrown onto massive, white-hot iron tritons and forced to look up at the sky, only to see a rain of burning arrows descending upon them. The duration of suffering in the hot Narakas is measured in kalpas or cosmic eons. For example, the lifespan in Sanjiva is equivalent to the time it takes to empty a city-sized barrel of sesame seeds, removing 1 seed every 100 years. The duration increases exponentially, culminating in Avici, where the suffering lasts for an entire intermediate kalpa, a timescale far exceeding human comprehension. While the hot Narakas punish actions driven by hatred and greed, the 8 Cold Narakas address karma rooted in extreme coldness, indifference, or specific forms of cruelty, often related to environmental harm or lack of compassion. These hells are situated in the outermost regions of the cosmos, far below the hot Narakas, characterized by perpetual darkness and unimaginable freezing temperatures. The suffering here is not fire, but the agony of extreme cold, causing the body to crack and shatter. The duration of the cold Narakas is measured by different, equally vast timescales based on the consumption of grain.
The first cold hell is Arbuda, the blistering hell. The intense cold causes the skin of the inhabitants to develop painful, pus-filled blisters. The only sound heard is the shivering and the low moaning of the beings. Near Arbuda, the bursting blister hell follows. Here, the cold intensifies to such a degree that the blisters burst open, leaving raw, exposed flesh. The beings are constantly exposed to freezing winds, preventing any healing and maximizing the pain. These hells are often the result of negative karma related to harsh speech or causing others to suffer from exposure and neglect. The next 3 cold hells are named after the sounds of suffering emitted by the inhabitants. Atata is the chattering hell, where the cold is so severe that the jaw locks up, and the only sound produced is a rapid, involuntary chattering noise. Hahava, the moaning hell, is characterized by deep, drawn-out moans of pain, as the throat and vocal cords are partially frozen. Huhuva, the groaning hell, involves a sound of deep, guttural groaning, signifying the body's struggle against the paralyzing cold. The suffering in these realms is directly proportional to the lack of warmth and compassion shown in previous lives. Utpala, the blue lotus hell, is where the cold causes the skin to turn blue and crack into 4 or 5 segments, resembling the petals of a blue lotus flower. The flesh and bones are exposed to the freezing elements. Padma, the lotus hell, intensifies this cracking, splitting the body into 8 or more segments. The final and coldest hell is Mahapadma, the great lotus hell. Here, the entire body shatters into countless pieces, resembling a pulverized red lotus, with internal organs freezing solid. The duration of suffering in Mahapadma is the longest of the cold Narakas, lasting for 20 intermediate kalpas.
Crucially, Naraka is not a final destination, but a temporary state of purification. Once the negative karma that led to the rebirth is exhausted, the being dies in the hell realm and is reborn in a higher realm, often as a preta, hungry ghost, or an animal, continuing the cycle of samsara. The suffering experienced perfectly matches the severity and nature of the negative action committed. The purpose of understanding Naraka is not fear, but recognizing the precise consequences of unskillful actions, thereby motivating ethical conduct and the pursuit of liberation from all suffering realms, including the human world.